Happy Thursday, boys and girls. This is Jeffery, Pure Funk Mitchell, as I am known on Facebook as Jeffery, Pure Funk Mitchell. Coming to you live on Memorex. Default route, default location on this P-Funk travel day. I was thinking, do I have any other kind of travel days? I'm sure I do. Just can't think of that now. And also, it's very much coincidental that a lot of my travel just happens to coincide with P-Funk shows. Okay, it's not coincidental. But every now and then, no, even that I kind of playing around. Like when I go back to see granddaughter every 2 months or so, I usually space it out or stretch it out to if it's a P-Funk show going on. And I'm thinking, is there? Can't think of, is there? All my travel is P-Funk. And it kind of fits because that's really like all I ain't gonna say all I want to do, but that's what my primary focus is. I don't really go out to see other bands. I do, but they're playing P-Funk or funk. You know, I do some other stuff, I think. As I prepare myself for the flight, as I've done for as long as I can recall. I don't know if that's the word. And you say, "Come to mess up." New space shall land. I think that's what it says. But here we go. And them prices in hotels in Times Square didn't drop as much as I thought they would. I'm like, wait a minute. This week might be a different week. Here they go again, watch. Why don't these people figure it out? They see me coming. Look up. Now you see me coming. Now you're gonna wait till the last minute and see that I'm gonna walk out farther. You don't see me. You gotta get out of the walking lane. Come on, y'all. Y'all doing this on purpose now. Oh, so y'all gonna go, oh my God. One of these days we gonna figure it out, huh? Single file line when pedestrians go by. You gonna figure it out one day. Move over. Anyhow, yeah, them prices didn't drop in Times Square like I thought they would. And then I did the calculations of staying in New Jersey. And then I could probably take public transit to get there. I would probably just be lazy and take an Uber and just pay for it. That could maybe be 50 bucks each way. I'm just guessing, you know. But it'd be easy, it'd be worth it. I'd easily pay that 50 bucks. I wouldn't have no problem paying that 50 bucks to get there and get back. I had no problem with that. But then after the show, you know, getting out, how many people getting Ubers, taxis, how long you gotta wait. And I'm also thinking, because I got this thing cut so tight again, that soon as the show is over, I should be out of there. Soon as the show's over, get in the car, get to the hotel, start getting some sleep. Because I'm gonna have to conserve that energy. And then I should get out of there. See, And if I get out of there, get out of there early, get to my room early, it give me more time to stay awake in the room. Because it ain't like I'm gonna go to the room and go right back to sleep. When I go to the room, get food, whatever, give me a couple slices or whatever, go back to the room, rest, I gotta see what checkout time is, get on a train, go back to EWR, rent the car, pick up the rental car, and drive to Bethlehem, which I think is like an hour and a half away or something like that. So I might even get to the hotel before check-in time in Bethlehem, which would be cool, because it's only like, shows at 7, so you know, I'm gonna wanna get there at 6, something like that. And if I check in at 3, they give me like 2 hours to lay down. Something good ain't happening here. Something good ain't happening. Gotta give me a couple hours to at least lay down for a little bit, you know? And then New Bethlehem, sleep after that show. Bethlehem, after that show. And that's when, wake up next morning, get out, get the car, drive to Baltimore. And I don't got no room in Baltimore. So I might have to get to Baltimore, find me a park or a spot, pull up with some food, and just chill until showtime. You know, I might find a place outside of Baltimore or wherever. You know, I gotta check the map to see where I'm going, but you know, if it's downtown, I might not be trying to go downtown. I might want to go to like stay on the outskirts for a little while. Find me a nice little park, something I can chill out, relax, get something to eat, ready for the show. Then after the show, hang out a little bit, go to the airport. I slept in the car, go to the airport, fly, go to the airport, fly to LA, and go to work. Work 8 hours a day. Woo! Finish that day up, and I'm thinking I'm gonna be a little bit tired. I'm thinking I'm gonna be a little bit tired. But you know how it goes with this stuff. Well, you might not, but you know. You know. You know. I was just thinking, I wore one of the short sleeve shirts that I got. I kind of liked it, the way it looked and the way it felt on me. So I took some pictures in the office and I posted it to a family chat. And the Browns fan, well, my ex-wife was like, Joe did that too? Her husband, Joe did that too? So he got pictures of him in his office, and it kind of reminded me of when he had like his cubicle or his office desk, you know, you can look at it and see he's been there for a while. We do hoteling. And when we leave, we take all our stuff with us. We got lockers there. There are breakout rooms and conference rooms if you need to huddle or whatever. But for the most part, you know, zero footprint, basically. The idea for these hotels, you rent them, you got an app where you can go in and reserve your desk. And we gotta go in every Wednesday. And, you know, human beings being human beings, we got a routine. Everybody usually kind of sits in the same spot. You know, everybody kind of sits in the same spot. And then, I think what happens is a new person comes in and it kind of disrupts the order. You know, there's enough spots, you know. But it's just everybody usually sits in the same spot. And in fact, a new guy came in, and when the previous new guy came in and took the supervisor's spot, so she had to move. And then the second new person, the today's new person, took the new person's spot, took the first new person's spot, and he had to move. And he took another person's spot, and it just sent a chain reaction all the way around. Because it's weird, for whatever reason, to go in there and see people not in these spots. So it's fun. It's fun. Being human. I do love it. Yeah, people on travel day. New York City too. I'm excited. I'm really excited. If I didn't pay that money for that new Bethlehem ticket, I would consider skipping that show and having a day of rest. I really would consider that. I would get my car or stay another day in New York City. But I don't know at these prices. Because I was saying the hotel prices ain't go down like I was expecting them to. Something must be happening in the city. A couple of them went down. You know, I'm monitoring it. A couple of them went down. I'm trying to think of a baseline that I could go if I get this amount, just get it. Instead of keep pushing. Because you got like city fees, city taxes, and not resort fees, but taxes and this and that. So you got to put that on top of the price, which doesn't matter because it's there anyway. But the price is advertised without it on some websites. And so you got to put that in there. But looks like I'm gonna be paying $300 for one night. Looks like I'm gonna be paying $300 for one night. I'm kind of getting my palate ready for that taste. I'll work 6 hours today. I'll get one break. So I'll miss out on 45 minutes of walking, but they'll be walking at the airport and this and that. It's not gonna be no 45 minutes worth, but it'll be comparable. That's good. I think I'm gonna take a pair of shorts too, gym shorts, lounge around in the room. Not that I'm gonna have time to lounge around in the room. No need for a carry-on. Everything should fit in my book bag and my personal item. And I'll take my laptop, this and that. Nothing too heavy duty. I might take a camera. Because I'm gonna have the car. I'm gonna be doing some driving on the road, so it might be cool to set up a camera and get some commentary while I'm driving. Something to do. Ooh, look, that door's open. Should I be nosy? Should I be nosy? What can you see? Should I be noisy? That's not firing too bad. I'm not trespassing. Ooh, my God. Look at that. And you see where the fire started. It smelled like fire too. I burnt the house down once, making French fries. I should have went. I don't know when this light is gonna change. It might be the other one I have to wait, but Now we just, because the bus goes by, stops all lights. Hey, I got the light. I thought it could have been the cross traffic. Got the light. So, I am looking forward to getting that piece of pizza for breakfast. Because I land like at 9:30 in the morning. Hopefully I get some sleep on the flight. Land at 9:30 in the morning. And I may just kind of, I don't know. I may have to get my steps up. Imagine getting my steps in Manhattan almost during rush hour. I probably could walk over to, I could walk over to our New York office. I know people up there. I can go in there and hang out. I have my badge, it might even let me in. I might even have my badge. My badge let me walk right up. That'll be cool. And in New York, I could probably get a massage. Their office got some shit. They got a weight room, they got a workout, a gym in the basement of that building, right across from Radio City Music Hall. It's probably a meditation room. I can go in there, get some sleep. The New York office, when I went to visit them, and I saw what they was dealing with and where they was dealing with it, it really hit me how prestigious and how significant and how big this company really is. You okay, kitty kitty? You okay, kitty kitty kitty? I was like, damn, we dealing with something here. I've never been, well, I've been to the LA office and I've seen it, and it's okay, but it's nothing compared to New York. And our LA office is now moving to Century City. So, you know Century City even by the name. The name of the place is on Constellation. They'll let you know right there that you're gonna pay $60 a day to park. And Avenue of the Stars and all that. And just getting into Century City is so elite or prestigious, whatever. But they move out of downtown LA. But our technology office, the GSO, is still gonna be in Los Angeles. They ain't gonna move right there. And just talking about the hotel links, seeing somebody with an old school desk, I call it old school now. You know how you can see how stuff is just piled up and how things are kept. Yeah, this badge on and the pants and the shirt, the look, the chair, the look, all of that. It's like, wow, how, I almost want to say cookie cutter, or how that idea is the same across the board, I mean, how similar that role is of cubicles and that dress, that style, the monitors, set up, everything, how, what's the word? We're standardized, maybe. Standardized, how it's the same across, it's nothing new. I mean, not nothing new, but, it's the same idea sold to everybody. Here's what we're gonna build, here's what we're gonna look. If you think about it, if science breaks it down and find out this is the most efficient, this is the most cost efficient, it does all the work, you get the most bang out of your buck, blah, blah, blah. Naturally, it's gonna be repeated. It's almost Darwinian, where the best ideas and the best setup is gonna be more popular and more people will have it. And that in itself will help its development. If it's more widespread, almost standardized to the point that's easy to fix, easy to maintenance, easy to troubleshoot because it's kind of the same across the whole goddamn country, across industries and everything. But I remember we used to have those kind of cubicles. Now we are hoteling. One big long rows of desks. Now, we're talking high quality stuff now. The best chairs, the best chargers, the best monitors, the best keyboards, mice, Wi-Fi. I'm talking about monitors. These monitors were so big and beautiful when we first saw them. We was blown away. They were like $600 a piece, big 38-inch high definition monitor. It was beautiful. It was like, wow. Now they're routine. Prices come down and COVID hit. I think we had moved to our new space, the hoteling space. And COVID, I think we were there 2 weeks. I think we was on that floor hoteling for 2 weeks. Then we went working from home. Now everybody work from home, so who needs a desk? Leave it there. I was just thinking too, I posted my pictures of work. Next ex-wife was like, Jill, do that too. So I know she would say, Jill, you don't go take your pictures. And she kind of competitive like that. And I ain't mad, I'm competitive too, but not in a social way. You know, she competitive in that social way. I already know I'm better than everybody. I don't need to compete. But on tactical, practical execution of actions and or game plans or successes of completions, those I compete at. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'll take a picture of my desk at home. Look at that one, buddy. My desk at home is the one. My 2 monitors, laptop cameras, mics, That's my baby. My studio. Because it is a competition when it comes to stuff like that. And I think about my life and places I've gone, things I've done. And I say places I've gone probably first as if it's the most important, but it's maybe not the most important, but it is definitely one of the things that I really pride myself for having accomplished, because it's not because, I did, nobody else did it, more or less because it's something that I really, really, really wanted to do. I take pride in a great sense of accomplishment, not because I did it and other people didn't. I take pride in a great sense of accomplishment because it's something that I dreamed, that I always wanted to do since I was young. Since I was young. Like on The Odd Couple, at the end of the opening trailer, the opening, introduction, Oscar and Felix walk outside their apartment and hail a cab. That's the kind of life that stuck with me. I was like, ooh, that's the kind of life that I was attracted to. Even though I knew catching the cab was expensive and probably not practical to do every day or whatever, just to have that, either the apartment life, condo, or live in a building, not necessarily have a house in the backyard and a front porch, just to, get dressed, walk outside, hey, give me a car, take me to and then in the city, downtown New York. Ever since I was young, my earliest memories. That's where I wanted to be. And for me to be working downtown in LA, I was walking around yesterday looking at it. So familiar with it, so comfortable with it, been here, done that. Not so much been here, done that, but I've done this over a decade at this one company. And I did it at other companies before. I worked downtown more than once. So I kind of know my way around, comfortable, seeing the people, seeing this, seeing that. Somebody letting a air hockey machine go. Them air hockey machines in school, but you gotta have the big good ones. Once you get used to those big good ones, those little ones is kind of janky, if I could use that word. But, you know, I'm like a lot, because I know that I had certain advantages that other people didn't. I know that. And I also know that people want different things. Everybody doesn't want the life I have or do the things I do. So people just aren't interested in traveling. Things that I deeply pride and love and adore and stimulate me to the highest. You know, some people, I mean, who cares? I don't want to do that. I understand that, and I love that about humanity. We're so different. I love that. And I believe it's necessary almost for us to be diverse like that, to have diversity of thought, diversity of personality, diversity of energy, et cetera, et cetera. It aids in our survival, helping us be different in so many ways to accommodate different situations. There's somebody out there for every situation, pretty much. In a way, generalized saying. There's a personality out there for just about every situation because there's a diversity of personalities. Personality and capability and demeanor and all of that. Just gotta put them together. And the internet, I believe, is a very good device for people to communicate over vast distances instantly, and you connect people. That's why sometimes people get in bubbles and silos, where they get locked into only hearing from the people and things that agree with them or decide with them. Then you got algorithms on the internet to present certain ads or certain subject matters and articles and stuff that are more likely for you to click on. If I'm sitting there, something come across my face about the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they know that. They know, oh, this guy always looking at Steelers stuff. So anything come up Pittsburgh Steelers comes, I see it, I click on it. That's ad revenue for somebody. But yesterday, I saw there was an article maliciously written or deceivingly written, Tyreek Hill going to the Steelers. If you read the headline, that's what it said. And then as you open it and read it, it said proposed. Now, there's got to be something on the internet to where I could go and click a negative on that and let the people, producing this kind of stuff know that, hey, your website, 8,000, 2,000, whatever people said this was inaccurate and deceiving. And then you might get a reputation for that. And hopefully that'll slow you down, because I don't see too much of it. I usually don't get caught up in it. But on Facebook, somebody said Tyreek to the Steelers. And I said, oh. Then I looked up Tyreek Hill trade. First thing that came up, it literally said Tyreek Hill traded to the Steelers, blah, blah. It didn't say proposed or hypothetical or what if. The headline said that, and I felt that deceiving. And I think the people who did it or the company should take a hit for it. So, that's a wrap, P-Funk Travel Day. P-Funk Travel Day, not even talking about P-Funk. Yeah, huh? Barry Chenault was out there yesterday with him. It was in Syracuse at a state fair. Crowd looked kind of sparse. I think it was raining. Talked to a couple users in New York yesterday. They said it was raining. Temperature went down. So I'll check the weather and prepare for that. I'll keep checking the websites to see. I keep checking the websites to see prices come down on hotels. I think I'm just gonna have to. Sometimes it's easy just to make a decision, even if it might not be the most economically capable or most economical based decision. Sometimes it's easier just to make a decision and have it done with. You might pay a little extra more or this, but you're not thinking about it, and that's a price. Having it done and settled and not have to think about it, quote unquote, worry about it, it has a value to pay a little extra. That's why I'm paying for the convenience of staying in Times Square in the first place. I have to walk to the show and walk back to the show, and I gotta pay for parking in Manhattan. Stay at a hotel, damn near parking gonna be $40 a day. Even though I found I was gonna rent the car at EWR when I landed and drive into Manhattan. I was kind of excited, looking to drive into Manhattan. I said, hell, I don't need that car. I can take a train, get there damn near quicker, and come back to the airport the next day and rent a car. And then, don't have to pay for parking in Manhattan. Don't have to pay for the car for that day. Save a couple of dollars, And I rented that, and I got cancellation. So it could be canceled. I may cancel that and get the non-refundable one and save $30. Let's see how much, save $20 or so. So we'll see. We shall see. And maybe the price come down. Who knows? Maybe the prices come down on the rental cars. Because I'm picking it up at EWR, dropping it off in Baltimore. You pay a little bit extra for that, but it's worth it. It's cheaper than flying or going through all that. Flying, the time that I have to get there early, my time I like to arrive 2 hours before departure, I got to drive to Baltimore during that time. And then just have the car and don't have to get a hotel. I have the car, which is basically a place to stay. Get down there and get ready for the show. Probably get down there early. Do some research, see what's going on around that area. Is there any kind of, early bird arrival stuff or fast pass or whatever. I do love the music. I do. In fact, I was listening to a 1990 concert or show with Gary Scheider. I was like, a lot of people said, I don't like it. They say a lot of people aren't there anymore. But Gary Scheider is the one that comes up a lot. And I get it, and I'm in awe of everything. But it keeps hitting me more and more how much of an impact he really, really had. Because I was listening, he just come out, wow. And just his little ad-libs in his voice and singing stuff. Baby, won't you? Just saying stuff, his voice. And how the band played the music back then. It had a little bit more sharpness and edge, but energy and movement. It had a hardness to it, but it moved. You know, it was solid. I was like, whoa, okay. Okay. And then I listen to the music now, and it's different. It's definitely different. But if you ask me, it's still in the P-Funk pocket. It still resonates with me. I still feel that they're playing it, quote unquote, right. And that's just me subjectively that I agree with the manner in which they're playing the music. I like it. The style, etc. It still hits that spot. And I was even thinking, this may be the best the music they've ever played the music, even with the greats, but it was still different. The greats played it. I mean, the people who, you know, young Parliament Funkadelic, Mr. Clinton, like 40 years old or whatever, jumping around the stage. Boogie, Hampton was younger, you know, all the guitars. Yeah, Skeet in there, you know, just all of that, you know. Younger, more energetic. And then see Mr. Curry running around being a crazy hype man. That's not the Mr. Curry I got to know at all. That's not the Mr. Curry I got to know at all. It's almost embarrassing for me to see him jumping around, clowning, being the hype man and all that. Yeah, it's fun to see him still singing Space People after all the years. That's 35 years ago. That's like 35 years ago. He's singing Space People. He still does it to this day on Cause of Slow. But to see him running around, and see Mr. Payne, young, you know, just running around being silly and hyping. Mr. Clinton! That is not at all, by far, the Mr. Curry that I got to know in the 2000s or whenever that was. Yeah, they got his, you know, little, not costume on, but, you know, he dressed hype. You know, it wasn't kickback, it was just to get hype and be cool and all of that. Not that he ain't just to be cool now, but, you know, just a younger, more energetic kind of thing. And I would say too, with the band, the George Clinton Parliament Funkadelic I've been seeing and hearing over the internet waves is still innovating. Things are still changing. Things are still being put into it. I said, this don't look like no band that's trying to quit. It's not like they know this is doomed. Stuff is still going into it. Innovations and changes, you know, to quote unquote enhance. Still trying to bring something new and still trying to entertain. It's like, oh. So we'll see. And in Bethlehem, I'm gonna have a seat. So that's gonna be nice. I'm gonna have a seat in the front row. So that's gonna be nice. That's gonna be nice. I can just go, don't gotta get in line. My seat will be there. And I heard the Motherfuckaholics is opening in Baltimore, which is cool. The blue velvet people, it's velvet and blue. The blue-eyed extinction opens in New York. And I was also thinking New York, Kendra might be there. That'd be cool. See if Kendra show up. I might go to her Instagram page, see if she's talking about it. What was I saying? Yeah, the blue-eyed extinction. I hope they bring a little something different, you know, than just standard ordinary in my mind. You know, people around me like it. People around me got it. Maybe they're playing a vibe that's popular among younger people. Maybe they hit that nerve or that vibe or that energy that's popular around younger people, whereas it's just blah blah to me. Sound like the same old, same old. But we shall see. So I get back home today. I might not even take a shower. I'm getting off at 6. And my flight is at 10:30. So I want to get to LAX at 8:30. So I should be at the flyaway. Let me see, 8:30. 8:30. I don't need to give myself an hour to get down there, but it really don't take that much. I could probably get the 7:40. I'll probably get to the flyaway at 7:40, catch the 7:40, 7:50 one, and get me there. You know, I do like to give myself a lot of time. So we'll see, we'll just let it play out. Let's see. Got lots of time, get off at 5:50. So I go to shift in, I can go in and cut my hair during that 10 minutes and, you know, during the day, be kind of putting things in place between calls. And then when I punch out, oh, I can even take a shower. I've done that before. No, I'm gonna have to moisturize. So, yeah, I'm gonna take a shower after work. Cut my hair again one last time. I got a little disposable razor just in case I want to knock some stuff off my face and not have to carry the big, heavy clippers. You know, all that goes into it, and I enjoy it. All that goes into it, and I enjoy it. You know, all that goes into it, and I enjoy it. And we'll see. New York City. We shall see. I love Manhattan. Probably said that here before. I just love the city. And I looked, and I'm really not far from the Empire State Building. I don't know why we just want to go there. I've seen it many times before. You know, it's you know, it gives me a certain kind of feeling. You know, being there, it's so tall, and seeing it, you know, going there and being up close is, yeah. But you can see some of the older architecture. And, you know, I've taken a tour, I went up in it. Might want to do that again. You know, might want to do that again. Take a tour and go up in it or something. I can see myself being interested in something like that. But will I be interested in something like that after being in an airplane all night? Because I'm landing in New York tomorrow at 9 o'clock after being on an airplane all night. Depending on how my night goes, how much rest I get. It's gonna determine how I feel. And how much energy I'm gonna have to kill before I can check in. I could probably call the hotel and say, can I check in? Can I check in? Can I leave my bag here? you know, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yes, we will. We shall see how it goes. I'm confident. I've done this before. And it's really dynamic. One thing that it helps to remember that there's always options. And there's always choices you can make dynamically in the moment to adjust this or adjust that. You know, on the ground, boots on the ground adjustments. All right, I think I covered just about, and I shouldn't say that, huh? When I say I covered just about, that's kind of like my outro piece, but I shouldn't have to say I covered just about. I shouldn't have to explain or make a comment on what I've done or not done. But it's just a way of, you know, it's just a way of exiting, I guess, preparing for the ending instead of just going right into the swinging on y'all. And I guess it's a way for me to talk myself out of it, just to take a pause before I end it and see if there's anything else I want to hit. Of course, I look and see how much time I've done. I don't know why. Not sure I like that I do that. Because I should just go as long as I feel it. And not worry about time. But I catch myself basically trying to do an hour. I don't know why. Basically find myself trying to do an hour, so. Not trying, but you know, back of my mind, that's where I am. Headache yesterday, my headache sinuses, they're starting to get in today, but it's not as much. And I can't remember if I took the headache medicine right after breakfast. I can't remember. Because I took 2 yesterday. Took 1, I think, maybe at the beginning of the day. And then towards the end of the day, I started to feel a little irritation. A little sensation. I said, all right, that's enough of that. I went and took another one. Knocked it right out, felt good. Felt really good. I said it might be the caffeine or whatever, but once that feeling, the headache, whatever goes away, I feel so much better. Energy's a lot better. Vibration's a lot higher. I'm almost even fidgety. And I gotta be moving. Can't sit still. And it feels good. And I'm able to even take it and focus it on the job that I'm supposed to be doing. You know, it's not just being, you know, excited about working on my stuff or anything. All right. Swinging on y'all 2 times. For me, the phone. And for every elementary particle that has ever existed in any atom, in this, or in any universe that ever was, is, or will be. The totality of it all, a theory of universe. Hypothesis of all as one. My name is Jeffery.